What's good, family? It's your girl Keisha, born in Suba, Homa Bay, raised on tradition, living in love, and swiping through the 21st century.
And I'm Shaquille, your guide for men looking for true, deep connection and love from across the oceans. Still figuring out how to honor mom and dad and keep my relationship high.
And you're locked into Ping Me Later, where long distance love gets a Diaspora remix. We talk about technology, traditions, and taboos with a little spice on top. Before I forget, in case you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so, subscribe, click that notification button, and share with everybody you know. We might help a sister or a brother.
Today's episode is Bride Price and Bedroom Talks, cultural norms versus modern love. Because some of y'all are ready for Netflix and chill, but auntie wants cows, cash, and a church ceremony first.
Exactly. Are you stuck between tradition and what feels good? Between community values and personal freedom? Then baby, you need this episode.
Right, let's get into segment 1, babe.
Let's start where it always starts. The bride price, Lobola if you are Igbo, Nyombo in my local language. Dowry, for those who don't understand what we mean. Whatever your culture calls it, it's that moment when love gets real and expensive.
For people who are not in the know, a bride price is a traditional gift from the groom's family to the bride's family. Think cows, goats, money, drinks, stuff like that.
In Kenya, where I'm from, bride price is seen as respectful. It shows seriousness, family commitment, and cultural pride. But sometimes it gets out of hand. How do you bring 30 cows and 50 goats just because your wife went to school? Sometimes it's actually interesting. In my Luo culture, bride price has to be paid for you to fully claim your wife. It's basically doing barter trade, bringing cows and money, then we give you our girl. It is a serious business in that if, God forbid, your wife dies before you paid for her bride price, then you'll have to do some cultural rituals. I don't know how it is with other cultures, but let's hear from baby's culture, and also you can tell us how it is done in your culture in the comment section.
Definitely. So on the African American side, we didn't grow up with that. Our version is more like ask your daddy for permission and hope the fam likes you. But even then, the idea of a man proving his worth still lingers. You're expected to show proof that you have gainful employment, you're not a player, and that you're respectful and loving to this woman who these people have spent the better part of about 2 decades training up to be a wife. Notice that description I gave. Not everyone lives like that or has family structure like that, but we speak toward the best possible scenarios as default and discuss other cases as they come up. If you're wondering how we might respond to your particular family situation, hit the comment section below and let us know more about your particular family situation, and maybe we'll share some of our thoughts in later episodes.
Exactly. So now with diaspora dating, you've got one partner like, you didn't even bring elders, and the other one like, what's an elder?
Right.
It's different, but that's what makes it more fun if you two are truly into each other. Take your time and learn about each other's culture. Don't overreact if they don't understand. Just teach them.
Exactly. Look, it's culture shock, but with cash and commitment issues attached. Let's get into some tips. Bride price varies from culture to culture. So since my cakes is a Luo goddess from the motherland, Kenya to be specific, we can discuss what modern Luo bride price practices look like in 2025. When I got to go to Baba for your hand in marriage, what do I have to bring as bride price?
Okay, so I'll give you a scenario of what I have seen in my village. So for you, when you'll be asking my hand in marriage, you'll have to bring cows. But then again, you'll have to negotiate with my family.
Okay.
So that's why I say you have to come with your brothers or your uncles. Okay, maybe 2. to negotiate. And then maybe dad wants 3 cows, but you brought like 1 cow. So you'll be told, no, you can't have our daughter because you have to reach this amount of cows,
Okay.
So you have to bring cows and cash, because now they feel like they'll be giving me you for the rest of your life, and I won't come back home.
Wait. So I need cows and cash? What? I thought the cows weren't cash.
Cows, yes.
Gracious, okay.
And in other cultures, you people normally take goats or sheep, 50 goats, But in my culture, just be ready, babe. You'll bring cows.
Okay, cool. So it's going to be a negotiation. I got to bring my brothers, and I got to get some plane tickets for them.
Exactly.
I need to bring the cows and the cash. Okay, the cash, I can figure out how to get that, right? We got modern day banking transactions and stuff, modern day banking transactions and stuff like that. So we can work that out pretty simple. But the cows, how am I supposed to get cows? So hold on, like, do I go to Kenya and then buy cows in Kenya, put them up on some family, like some land or something like that, and then I'll bring those cows to, your village? Or is there like a modern way that they do this? Do they have like apps for bride price or something like that? Or maybe that's something we need to go ahead and invest in and make, you know what I'm saying? Is it so?
Well, okay, so you are lucky that I'm Kenyan, and I know anything when it comes to business. Okay?
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that. But then again, you'll be using a flight, so you can't bring cows from your place. You just have to buy them here in Kenya. But now I think you'll need like maybe 2 friends from Kenya. So you should start looking for male friends in Kenya who will take you to my home. Okay.
Yeah, I can do that. All right. If any of our men out there are listening, our Kenyan men, I'll be looking for some new buddies. All right. So get down in the comments and let me know. With that said, I got some plans. Oh yeah, go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
So you can just buy them here in Kenya, but make sure you don't look online for cows. You can have your 2 friends go to the market, negotiate, but when you decide to look for online prices, baby, you will buy them in dollars instead of Kenya shillings.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you said that, because that's the first place I was going to look, and now I'm hearing, hold on now, you're going to get USD. So they're going to be ripping me off, basically. These cows are worth a certain amount, but they trying to upcharge. Okay, I see. So before we move on, actually, does it matter what type of cow? Does it have to be a dairy cow? Does it have to be, I think, a Friesian? There's all kinds of different, you know what I'm saying? What type of cow would be necessary?
What type of cow do you think I would, you'd buy me with?
Well, you love mala.
Would you buy me with a very skinny cow? Would you buy me with a fresh one? Would you buy me with a very healthy cow? So you take the cows according to how you value your girlfriend or your wife to be.
Hey, for sure. Hold on now. These are going to be the healthiest cows that I can possibly find. The biggest, fattest, most milk-producing cows in Kenya. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, for sure. And as many as I can possibly afford out the pocket. So definitely status-wise, health status, they're gonna be great. I'm talking about like, does the culture say that they prioritize a certain type of cow over another? There are milk-producing cows, and then there's cows that you really just raise for meat primarily. Is that something that matters?
No, there's no limit or restriction that you should take this type of cow. But I think it's from your heart, like, so how do you see your wife? How do you see your girlfriend? Would you I think it's just from you. So you'll find that other people bring theirs. Also, it depends with your pocket.
Yeah.
Cows are not cheap.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I got some planning to do, y'all. I'm gonna be looking into this, and we're gonna keep up the cow conversation, the bride price conversation, even beyond this episode. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into segment 2. Now, I don't even think I said the title of segment 1. Segment 1's title was Bride Price Basics. Segment 2 is When Traditions Feel Like Transactions. Babe, let's get in.
Let's keep it 100. Some people feel like bride price makes women look like property, that they are being bought and not honored. That is not true. This is a tradition that was started by our forefathers. It was a way of appreciating the parents for properly raising their daughters and finally giving them off to the men they chose. I feel like it's a proper rite of passage for African couples. You feel me?
Yeah, baby, definitely. It's important for us to keep things in context and respectful to ancient African customs. Historically, generally, ancient African women are treated much better than women from other cultures. Here's a history check. Regarding political power in ancient Egypt, women could inherit, rule, and even become pharaohs in some cases. They were legally recognized as individuals, not just extensions of husbands or fathers. In Nubia and Kush, women, such as the Kandakes or the Candaces, the queens, often ruled as sovereign monarchs. In many West African societies, pre-Islamic Sahel region kingdoms, the Yoruba, the Akan, women held significant political influence. Among the Akan, queen mothers advised kings and often had veto power and leadership decisions. Regarding legal status, ancient Egyptian women, once again, could own property, sign contracts, divorce, and sue in court. Rights European women wouldn't generally get until much later, in some places the 19th to 20th century. African customary laws varied by region, often acknowledged women as heads of households or lineages, especially in matrilineal societies, such as among the Ashanti. Regarding cultural roles, many African societies had gender complementarity rather than strict subordination. Men and women had different roles, but were both essential. In spiritual traditions, women often served as priestesses, diviners, and keepers of ritual knowledge, holding religious authority, like, for instance, the Yoruba Ifa priestesses or the Egyptian priestesses such as Hathor and Isis. I feel it's important to point out these major differences because people seem to take European or other cultural historical treatment of women and stretch that over the head of African men in an attempt to blame all of us for situations we didn't actually have much to do with.
I remember a cousin of mine, her bride price negotiation turned into a literal auction. Aunties arguing about how much education was worth. Meanwhile, the couple just trying to get married in peace. It can get really messy sometimes with those aunties from dad's side.
Right.
If you get what I mean.
I see. Facts. For modern couples, it's more about balance. Just like our ancestors sought so many years ago, how do we respect our elders and make sure our love doesn't feel like a contract?
My advice? Have the conversation early. Set expectations. Find ways to honor traditions without letting it control your entire relationship path.
Exactly. After all, traditions are supposed to guide us in life and help to improve our life on this planet. They're not supposed to hold us back. We're never supposed to do things for tradition's sake because that's what we already did or we did in the past or we always did it this way. We do it this way because it gets us the consistent outcome that we're looking for. Hopping right on over into segment 3, bedroom boundaries meets cultural beliefs. Now let's get a little spicy. Let's talk about how cultures view sex, especially before marriage.
My grandma still won't say the word sex out loud. In my community, when you say, in my community, when you say such words just like that, you will be considered a disgrace to the society. And it is also a taboo to just say that word. Like, anyone who's from my community knows how bad it sounds. So let me know what you call it in your culture in the comments. You can cover it up in Swahili or a better word so that we don't be disgraced, you know. My grandma calls it tabia mbaya. That's a word we all grew up knowing meant sex, like bad manners in English. And yet, science made us believe it's not really that bad, you know.
Right.
It's not a bad manners, yeah?
Right. And in the traditional Black American church, it's used to be like about purity, and that used to be the whole cultural center of the Black American church, right? No sex, no living together, no even sleeping in the same hotel room unless you're married. Meanwhile, hey, look, that's what they claim, but in real life, it was never that simple. From pastors with wandering eyes and hands to people straight getting sent to the upper room because of a parishioner or a pastor's relations, going from divine to sensual, to sensational to carnal, and finally to the very unfortunate, very inappropriate, and very evil and illegal manipulation of the underage, or things in real life generally are always murkier than the expectation, right? Over the years, as African-American culture has become more and more mimetically infected with Negro culture, you know, the sagging pants, thug culture, jug culture, garbage. Well, after the rise of that culture in about the 90s in America, it really kind of blew up. At that point, before that point, African-American cultural inhibitions had been really tightly held and tightly kind of like put in a box or a jar, but now they done fell off a cliff. It's good not to be too caught up on certain aspects of sexuality. When people get puritanical, they've gone too far, right? But where we are now is certainly not a healthy place, as modern ideologies such as feminism drive people to be wild and reckless, even though we absolutely support women's rights here. We support the empowerment of women without question, right? But being wild and reckless with your sexuality and your body, that's not freedom. That's being, that's not control. That's not safety, right? Women having the right to vote, work where they want, having bodily autonomy. Hell yeah. Women believing that being reckless with their bodies and womb is a flex. Hell no. Okay. Oh, and you might be thinking, wait, there's a difference between African-American culture and Negroes in America? Yup. You're going to have to stick around, and we might tackle those cultural differences in a later episode.
I also want to hear that. So here's where it gets tricky. You've got one partner raised in tradition, another who's like, I need to know if the chemistry is there before I commit forever. And this is a very good topic, baby, because I was like, I think we will talk about this in one of the episodes. If you'd like to contribute, if anyone would like to contribute their views on this, like, would you commit to someone without
that thing.
having sex with them?
We could call it that thing. They used to call it that thing.
Yeah. Would you commit to someone before doing it with them or after? Baby.
Hey, y'all, we don't go.
What? No. Let's listen to this first. Baby, tell me, would you commit before or after?
Baby, my love, my sweetheart. Listen. Babe, you are supposed to have your relationship so tight, so firm, and confirmed in your mind that you're supposed to be able to commit to a person without having that thing with them, because anytime that thing is engaged in, it starts to muddy the waters if you haven't locked in mentally first. You know what I mean? And ultimately, if that thing is lacking on anybody's part, the male part, the female part, whatever, you can always improve that thing over time, baby. That's just the truth, baby. It's just the truth.
I'd be a bad, if I was a man, I'd be a bad boy, because I'd be sampling. Anyway, You can tell us what you think about that conversation, because we might have it in our next episode. So yeah, baby, you can carry on.
Yeah, we still got more to talk about on this. Okay, we got more to cover
Yes.
on that. But yeah, so anyway, so nobody wants to offend, right? But you also don't want to get married and find out y'all aren't aligned intimately, right? That makes sense. It's a legit concern. That's where our trusty tool of communication comes in. What I was talking about. It's on both partners to get some time aside to discuss sexual expectations. It's best to begin this discussion early on in the relationship after you've already discussed general likes and dislikes. And if you feel the interest and potential is strongly there, then you can go ahead. You'll feel when it's the right time. Trust yourself, be transparent, vulnerable, and stay honest.
Okay, my tip: no one likes talking about sex without shame. Whether you're doing it now or waiting, your values deserve a safe, open space to breathe. Don't overdo it, though. It might become boring again. But I don't think talking about sex would get boring with your
No,
partner.
it shouldn't.
Would it,
No, it
maybe?
doesn't get boring with us. Like, I don't know. I'll look at. All right, it shouldn't get boring, nah. So if it does, y'all need to work on experimenting and trying some different things. But once again, that's gonna have to be a conversation
Yeah.
between y'all, So yeah. And listen, that also includes talking about preferences, though. Preferences, boundaries, turn-ons, expectations. Respect the culture, but don't suppress your desires. All right.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and move right on into segment 4: modern moves, traditional roots.
Okay, so how do you move forward when culture and love feels like they're pulling in opposite directions? You have to respect your culture, and also you're in love with this person. So how do you move forward when you feel like these two are pulling in opposite directions?
Right. So you do what we did, right? You blend, you remix, you create your own rhythm. I actually do this thing where I take words in Kiswahili and remix them. I like,
Exactly.
like I call my cakes kiowami, right? The word is a blend of the sentence kiowami or kioamimi, which means mirror of me.
Kiwangu.
Right. Another way of saying that is my reflection, right? So figuratively and romantically, it means my soulmate. Creating your own love terms is a way of adding a unique and special flair to your love connection. Building a unique language that only you and your boo share. It goes a long way toward making the distance feel less daunting.
Exactly. Maybe you pay a symbolic bride price, a small gift that honors traditions, but doesn't break the bank.
Right. Maybe you invite the elders to the wedding ceremony, but you have your own private vows the next day.
Exactly. Or maybe you go celibate before marriage. Or maybe you live together first and explain reasoning with love and clarity. Baby, I would live with you
I mean,
I would never go celibate before marriage.
I listen. No. I don't know if I don't agree with that either. And I know that it might seem a little bit people might think it a little hypocritical. Weren't you just defending that you gotta have a super connection and stuff? Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, I didn't say that, you definitely have to be married before you engage in that thing. You know what I'm saying? You still need to engage in that thing at a healthy time. I meant, like, the commitment to me doesn't simply mean the ceremony. Commitment happens before the ceremony. Commitment has to happen for you to get to the ceremony if you want a healthy marriage. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Listen, the whole key and point of this is intentionality. Are you making decisions out of fear or out of honor? Are you bending because of pressure or because of love?
And don't forget, you and your partner can create new rituals together. That's the beauty of diaspora love. Tradition with innovation.
100%. With that beautiful point made, let's move right on into segment 5. Real love, real talk. So let's bring it home. Whether it's bride price, bedroom norms, or balancing expectations, love requires clarity and courage.
Your relationship doesn't need to look like your parents or your friends. It needs to feel true to you. It's always different, you know?
Exactly. Unique for every couple. Now, have the hard conversations. Be honest about what matters to you. Be gentle with each other's cultures, but be firm in building the future you want.
You can honor your ancestors and your autonomy. You can pay cows and still do cuddles. You can blend traditions and tenderness. You all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, episode 3 in the bag. If this episode made you think twice about your values or your village, that's a good thing. Love deserves reflection.
Yeah, exactly. Got a bride price gone wrong story or a family tradition you made your own? Slide into our DMs or email us. We might feature it next week.
That's right. Next time on Ping Me Later, we're diving into DMs, time zones, and trust. Long distance in the swipe era.
Exactly. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. It would mean a lot to us. And thank you so much for tuning in. Until then,
Ping me later.
You said love's no transaction, just a spark in the dark. But I see the negotiations in your heart, in your heart.
If I'm the jewel you're after, then you better shine too. What's the cost of devotion? It's a dance for two.
Oh, let me earn it, let me prove my case.
But don't forget the rhythm, keep the pace. Keep the pace.
Bride price, love's not sold. It's a treasure, it's pure gold. And in bedroom talks, hearts unfold. Whispered secrets, truths retold. You lay your cards on the table, but your hands stay closed. What's a vow without a wager? Just a hollow toast.
I'll pay in time and kisses and the weight of my soul. No coins, no dowry needed, just you, my gold.
Oh, these threads of tradition, they bind and they sway. But let's weave something modern, a love we replace.
The six smooth and slide, smooth and slide, smooth and slide.
Bride price, love's not sold. It's a treasure, it's pure gold. And in bedroom talks, hearts unfold. Whispered secrets, truths retold.